So one day I was sitting in my garage and I was like,
All Westcott FJ4. And we're going to shoot each one.
I'm going to build my own modifier. So I literally went to Amazon. I got like a big pizza bowl. I got a little pizza plate. I literally built my own beauty dish.
Using a white modifier or a silver modifier.
Brandon Cole. Brandon is a well-established photographer. Today, we're here to talk about how he's been able to take his skill set and build products and business around their skill set to create an amazing, thriving business. His unique content and style drives millions of views and hundreds of thousands of followers across YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And I'm sure there's a few other things I'm missing in there, but thank you so much for joining, Brandon. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you. Thank you for having me on, man. I absolutely love it. I love doing these things. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Well, it's an interesting perspective hearing everybody's story, how they got started, and how everybody's doing something different. Because you kind of have to, don't you, stand out?
Yeah, absolutely.
And to start out with, how do you kind of introduce yourself? Like, do you call yourself a photographer? Do you call yourself business owner? When you're meeting people, what do you sort of pitch yourself as, and what's your main thing? What do you do?
But normally when I introduce people, I introduce myself as a professional photographer, entrepreneur, and then we basically just go from there. And, right off the bat, that kind of, establishes that connection to let them know, like, hey, this is a professional, this is just not some type of fly-by person. So some of those things that you put in there is really important. So people pick up on that.
Yeah, man. And I think especially as the world gets more and more sensitive or more and more alert to all these, sketchy things that happen on the internet or, pranks that happen that people get caught up in. That's awesome. And, anybody listening or watching should definitely go check out Brandon's content. I thought it was really unique the way that you create your YouTube content in reviewing photography products while on a shoot and almost showing behind the scenes and everything before and after. Is like, it's freaking action packed. That content that you guys you're making. I'm not sure if it's multiple guys involved, but how did you sort of get started with that idea? How did you start on YouTube? Like, where did that come from?
That's a good thing, man. So, I've always had a passion for photography. But once I reached that point to where I was good enough and I saw the impact that my work was making, and I saw people actually like, whoa, like your stuff is like really good. Like you should really, do something with it. But then I start getting a lot of questions. How do you do this? How do you get your lighting down? How do you work with your models? There's a lot that goes into photography, and a lot of people I think don't understand that. There's a lot about, knowing what lenses to use. And it's a really big investment. So what camera do you use? What lenses do you take on the shoot? What lights do you use? How big of a modifier? Should I use a small modifier? Should I use a big modifier? How do you work with your models? How do you decide your location? What should the models wear? How do you pose your models? Yeah, all of this is a conglomerate and a combination to actually just getting just like one shot. So, once I saw how good I was at it and what I was doing, I've always been a teacher. I love to teach. So I was like, maybe I should go and take my stuff, to the big stage, YouTube, and just show people. I want to show people my work. I want to show people what I was doing. And I was following a photographer, and I tell everybody, like, I was following this guy, Jason Lanier. He's an amazing photographer. And I was like, man, I really want to do that. I believe I can do that. So I started picking up on some styles here and there, until I kind of just made it my own. But I think what makes I took it to YouTube because it's my personality, my character. Like, I'm a very outgoing person. I'm a very energetic person. You're going to find something different on my photography channel than you're going to find on everybody else. They might be able to go out and take pictures, but the interaction, the craziness, I want to make it a show. I just don't want you to come and just see another photographer take pictures. I want you to actually enjoy the craziness and the interaction between me and my model, what we're doing and the shots that we're getting. So I try to throw a little bit of that, everything in that photo shoot, but at the same time, I want you to learn something behind the scenes. I want you to see how I'm working with models. I want you to see how I'm doing composition. I want you to see how I'm posing. I want you to see
Hmm.
these things. But at the same time, I want to throw the music in there. I want to act the fool too. I want it to
Yeah.
be entertaining. So I try to set my photography channel separate from any other photographer. And I know it is because of just the person I am. But at the same time, I want you to learn. I like to teach too.
Yeah.
So I basically
Mm.
found a way to merge all of that into
Mm.
one and put this channel on. And man, I absolutely love it. I love it.
Mm.
And I like teaching. I like showing people what I can do. And but yeah, I want people to have fun. I want you to come back. I want you to get ready for the next photo shoot that I'm gonna put on here next week. So I
Yeah.
always want to leave people with something like what kind of like not necessarily like a cliffhanger, but like what
Mm.
we gonna come out with next week? Who's the model that's gonna be on next week? What are they gonna shoot next week? What is she gonna wear? What are they gonna do?
Mm.
And that's what I
Yeah.
and that's what I enjoy doing. You know, I love it. I love it
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. And like, man, hats off to you because there are a lot of photographer channels out there.
Yes,
Um, so kind of like differentiating definitely takes a lot of creativity. So,
yes,
anybody listening, like, there's no such thing as like a saturated niche. You can always find a different angle, different
that's
type of humor,
that's,
different
that's
type of
a good point.
style.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And yeah, so if you're looking for an example, go check out Brandon's. um,
Yep.
okay. And then, I was kind of impressed because you have, your YouTube stuff going on. You have like a ton of different photography services that you offer. And then you also developed a product
Mm,
called the Black Dish.
yes.
Um, how did that come about? Where did you get the idea to like create a product? And
Yeah, you know,
how did you even do that?
so I remember, man, I was doing a photo shoot in my studio.
Mm.
I turned my garage into a big makeshift studio. So there's anything out there you can find in any studio. Like everything is out there.
Mm.
So I was doing a photo shoot
Nice.
one day, and you know how we use V flash. You know, one has a white side, one has a black side where you bounce light or subtract light. And
Mm.
in my photography, I love drama. I love drama. So a lot of times I would turn that V flat to the black side so I can bounce that negative light to get that contrast, that dark area.
Mm.
Love it. I love the way it was looking on my models. And I said, it's something just clicked one day. I was like, you know what? What if I could take this same look and put it into a modifier? You gotta remember, most photographers, we got over probably 10, 15, 20 different modifiers, white, silver, and everything. Metal, all of those things. So I said, man, there gotta be a way I can do that. And it's so crazy. So one day I was sitting in my garage and I was like, I'm going to build my own modifier. So I literally went to Amazon. I got like a big pizza bowl. I got a little pizza plate. I got some screws. I built my own deflector plate. Like I literally built um my own modifier, my own beauty dish. And then I took that same beauty dish and then
Mm.
I painted it all black. And then I was shooting with my I got a mannequin in my garage. And I looked at it and I said, it looks so good. So
Mm.
I took it, that same modifier, and I took it and did some photo shoots. I got a model and I did two photo shoots with it. Nobody knew what it
Mm.
was because I didn't show anybody. And those videos it's still on my YouTube channel. The first
Yeah.
one that I built, I actually took it on a real world photo shoot and used it. I was like, either these pictures are gonna be horrible and it's gonna be
Yeah.
a waste of time, or these pictures are gonna look amazing. So I went
Yeah.
out, did the whole hour and a half photo shoot. I did it twice with this modifier. And
Mm.
I remember seeing those pictures when I brought them in, and they looked incredible. So I called
Mm.
my buddy Manny was my business partner, who also has, his wife has a candle business. So they are used to coordinating with China and getting their products in and out. And I remember
Mm.
calling my buddy over one day and I said, hey, I said, check out this modifier. And I gave him my camera. I said, take a shot of my mannequin with it.
Mm.
I wanted him to take a picture just like he would take a picture of any model. And he took a
Mm.
picture and he's like, man, this looks amazing. And I said, I literally just built that. He said, no way. And I showed him the inside and how it was black and everything. He was like, that's why it looks so soft like that. Like normally when you take a picture with modifiers, you get that, some hot spots, that flexion,
Hmm.
kind of bright, because there's like so much light being reflected out of a white or a silver beauty dish. So
Mm.
he said, man, you might be onto something. So I let him deal with the logistics part. So he contacted our partners in China, seeing if somebody
Hmm.
could build this modifier. And he called me, he's
Mm.
like, hey, I think I found somebody who can build it exactly like you want it. So I gave him all the schematics, the exact everything how I wanted it built. And long story short, he sent it to him. They sent us a sample. And then we went back and forth for like 6 months. And no, I don't like that. No, I don't like that material. Until they sent it and they finally got it right. And I took it out,
Nice.
tested it, and it was perfect. And then they started
Oh yeah.
manufacturing it, and we sent it out. The first day I advertised it on YouTube. I went live on YouTube, and I
Mm.
and I put out the promo, and everybody's like, "What? No way!"
What is that?
And
What
that
is that?
first, that's crazy. That first week, like when we did the pre-orders, that first week we sold like 80 in that first week, and
Dang.
we've heard nothing but praise about it. It's been amazing, man.
Nice.
It was amazing. So
Nice.
it was a lot.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. And so that was an example of like you seeing a problem or an opportunity in, photography
Absolutely,
gear. Like
absolutely.
there was a missing product there that you were
Right.
able to identify.
Right.
Um,
Though you talking about the reason behind like coming out with it. Yeah,
yeah.
basically, like I said, I've been shooting with modifiers for a very long time, and I know what silver. I know what since the beginning of the time, since photography ever came into photography and flash,
Mm.
there's always only been either a white or silver modifier. It's always been white
Mm.
silver. There's never been nothing else. And I know what happens when light reflects off of white, and I know what happens when light reflects off of silver. But that black really reduces a lot of that intensity and gives you more of a softer, evenly spread of light, gives you more natural tones, gives you more look because there's not as
Mm.
much flash as being reflected, and it
Yeah.
just looks so good on the skin, man. And yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so proud of it, man. It's been doing really good.
No, that's awesome, man. That's a great like success story.
Yeah,
And I think, everybody listening, it's just about finding those, those gaps in the market, whether
yeah,
it's a product, whether it's a service, whatever it may be. Because it
absolutely.
was kind of interesting. You sort of do this for everything because even with your content, you were sort of saying that people are asking you all these questions.
Mhm.
And is that kind of why you started producing the content that you do? Because people literally asking you questions, you were finding a gap between
Yeah,
them asking and there's not just good content answering those questions?
yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I wanted to be, when I came into photography, I didn't have photographers that I could reach out to. I didn't have people
Mm.
that was like, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, my flash is too bright. Hey, how do I do this? How do I do this? It was most people was kind of like in their own area, and a lot of people like wouldn't help you. So I literally had to learn how to be a photographer, how to do natural light, how to use flash, everything,
Mm.
what modifiers. I had to literally learn everything on my own. But I did say, I remember, I said, when I master this and when I get to a point, I was like, I'm going to make sure I do my best to try to help the community and help people.
Mm.
So a lot of the questions that I get about Flash and models and everything, I will turn it around and make a video about it. You know,
Yeah.
and like I was telling them, I was like, my modifier. I said the black dish is not here to replace other modifiers. It is a
Mm.
tool, another tool that you can have in your bag when you want that nice, beautiful, subtle look. There's nothing that does it better than the black dish. But
Mm.
there also are times where I need that light. I need that intense flash. When you do like Hollywood shooting or something and you need
Mm.
a lot of light, I need a lot of reflection, then yeah, I'm gonna probably go back to silver or white. But it is a great tool to have in the bag. And like I said, I just found something that I feel like a lot of people could benefit from. Um, And yeah, that's what I try to do, man. When I see something, I just try to help out. And I guess
Mm.
that's just my mentality, I guess.
Oh, man, that's a great mentality. It's created a lot of great opportunities for you.
Yeah.
And then and the other thing is you have a fair few services in the photography space. Did you intentionally narrow down to portrait photography and become like expert YouTuber on that specific niche? Because I know there's so much to
It is.
photography.
It
Did
is.
you intentionally kind of go there, or did it just
Um,
naturally happen?
yeah, so I always have wanted to be a portrait photographer. I've always liked working with models, portfolios and things like that. So I've always wanted to be a portrait photographer. But once I mastered that, then I said once I get this niche, then I will start to dive into other areas of photography. So yeah, I do a lot of weddings. I do newborn. I do graduations. I do maternity. I do a lot, even landscape. I do a lot of photography. But what
Mm,
you might not see me post those other areas of what I do. But when people my clients and things, they contact me, hey, I love your work, but do you also do this? Oh, absolutely. I
mm,
absolutely do that. But when I
mhm,
market myself as a portrait photographer. But yeah,
mm,
oh, absolutely. I'm a beast in like all those areas. But what I want
mm.
people to see is my work and with models and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, that's a problem I think a lot of people have when they have a skill set or a side hustle that they're
Mhm,
doing and they're not going niche enough to start with.
mhm.
Because if you're not known for being really, really good at one thing, it's very, very hard for people to find you
Oh,
because
absolutely. Absolutely.
nobody wants the average of everything. They want the best of something.
Hmm. You're gonna get and you get arguments about that too. You know that
Mm,
people are like, hey, you got some people who feel like you should be, master one thing first and then break into other areas. And then you got these people over here who's like, well, it's probably better if you learn like a few things at one time at the same time and don't spread yourself. Don't try to just do one thing. Try to learn a few things at once.
mm,
To each his own. I'm not arguing with what nobody can do, but I feel, especially somebody who's been here for a very long time, I feel like you should definitely look at one niche. If you want to be a portrait photographer, you need to learn how to be a portrait photographer. And there is other areas of that you're not seeing because
mm,
some lenses, like in cameras, some lenses that I use for portrait photography I'm not going to use for weddings.
mm,
If I just want to be a wedding photographer, there's some lenses that I'm not going to need in another niche. You know,
mhm.
you know, weddings is like 70 to 200 and those zoom lenses so you can get in and get out and that versatility. I don't need
Yeah.
that if I'm just taking a picture of one person. I'd just rather get a prime lens and that's it. So
Mm,
I'm not going to try to break into all these things, but once I master this art and I know it and I'm building up clientele and I'm getting my pictures out there and I'm booking people and people are seeing me and I'm getting booked and people are, oh, I want him, I want him, I want him. And I feel like it's gotten to a point now where my work speaks for itself. I don't have to
mm.
do anything. You need to get to that point where your work starts speaking for itself. I don't have to book
Yeah.
clients. I don't have to book models. I don't have to sit here and do all things. Your work will eventually start speaking for itself, and people are going to come to you. They're going to find you.
Yeah.
It's going to be word
Mm,
of mouth. Hey, do you know a photographer? Yep, this guy right here. Look at his work.
mm.
Look at his YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Like that dude. Like that's what you need to shoot with.
Knows what he's doing.
And
Yeah.
that's what it's about.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And congrats to getting that stage because I know there's a lot of people out there who are trying to get there. Um, and it sounds like you've been doing it for a while. And I
Mhm.
think one of the big keys, just like consistency, sticking to it. Like everybody who's
Absolutely,
just getting started,
absolutely,
um, you got to stick with it.
absolutely.
Okay. So switching gears a little bit, you do services, you do products, and then it looks like you also had like some presets, some software products, as
Yep,
well as your light, so your physical product.
yep.
What's your kind of breakdown of time in comparison to like revenue or return? Like, where do you spend most of your time, and where do you feel like you make the most revenue, or like the best revenue per time?
I
So
got
if someone is trying to understand, like, should I go into product, should I go into service, should I do both? what would be your advice based off your experience?
Um, um, I would say that is a really really good question, man. And I know exactly how to I know exactly how to approach it. So I'm just going to approach it in my own words. So
That's what we want to know.
I feel like for me, I'm a photographer, and a lot of people around the world know me and know what I do now from my channel, from my page, my portfolio, and all of that stuff. I feel like once my name got out there and people knew who I was, then I could come out with these things. I could hold, like I hold seminars, photo walks. People come out,
Mm,
they want to learn from you. You know, you want to teach. If I go to a city and I say, "Hey, I'm here to do, X, Y, and Z," people are gonna come out because they know you.
mm,
So I feel like you should establish yourself first, and then
mm,
once you establish yourself, then then you can break off into these other areas. Like me, I have a clothing line. Like this is
mm,
my shirt.
mm,
This is one of my shirts. So not only do I run the Black Dish LLC, I also have my clothing line called Dope Photography Clothing, where I came out with about 6 or 7 different shirts. So now I'm running that. I'm running the clothing line. I also have clients under Brandon Cole Photography. But
mm,
it's all I feel like once you establish yourself, then you can start breaking off into these other areas because people trust you. They know that you're gonna.
mm,
They know that your stuff is. They know who you are. So then you're not going to be
mm.
some type of fly by night person.
Yeah,
So I think
got it.
establishing yourself is important.
Yeah, okay, so build the credibility,
Yes, yes, there you
then
go.
look for the opportunities to
I believe
create new
so.
products or services or something like
Yeah,
that.
and you have to look. I mean, look at it. If I'm just using myself because I think that's the easiest way. But if I wasn't out there or who I am, and I just came out with a clothing line tomorrow,
Mm,
like who is this guy? Like, is you or is he a photographer? Like you know what I'm saying? It's
mm,
not gonna have the same impact. You know what I'm saying? So I
yeah,
think you really need to, whatever your niche is or whatever you want to do, get yourself out there first. Start building like you said, your credibility. Start getting out there, letting people know who you are. And then once you're ready to drop whatever it is that you have, absolutely, then drop it. Just like you do podcasts and things like that. But before you actually could get yourself out there and before people would actually listen to you, you had to build your credibility. I don't know what you were doing before this, but people probably knew who you were regardless of what if you was just getting on TikTok
mm,
or Instagram and making crazy faces and doing different things. There was one point where he was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something else, while I have this
yeah,
platform. And
yeah,
it works the same exact way, in whatever you do.
yeah. No, it's a great point, and I think, yeah, I think also building that credibility is possibly the hard part.
Yeah.
So that's why possibly people don't get to the, building out services, building out courses or
Mhm.
memberships or digital products or physical products.
Absolutely.
And then I think sometimes people trying to jump straight into that, as you were saying, it's kind of hard to open the doors and have any sales because nobody's sitting there waiting for that product or
Hmm.
nobody's there interested in that product because, yeah, they don't know who you are.
Yeah.
They don't know what your experience is in
Absolutely.
producing that.
Absolutely.
Okay, interesting.
Absolutely.
Um, okay. Well, man, gonna sort of wrap this up and would love for you to just leave us with some information on sort of where we can find out more, where we should go check out your stuff. How's the best way to get in contact with you if we're interested in kind of, learning more or getting in touch about anything that you're currently doing. Yeah, give us a bit of a wrap up.
Oh, absolutely, man. Listen, well, first of all, man, I want to appreciate you for bringing me on, man. You're absolutely amazing. I appreciate you for even, looking me up, finding who I am. Like, yo, we need to get this guy on here. So, that's a
Of
blessing,
course.
man. And I'm glad I was able to touch, anybody and through what I do, and that's what it's about. Give back, look out for the little guys always. And that,
Mm,
being military and everything, it's so many things that connect to each other. When you've been doing it for so long, my main job is to look out for the little guy. So I think
mm,
that that does something to me, even through photography. So if somebody asks me a question, I'm not gonna, steer away. I'm gonna look out for the little guy, because I
yeah,
I
gonna lean
remember
in.
I was there. You know what I'm saying? I was there. Somebody reach out to you and be like, hey, how do I get started with a podcast?
Yeah.
Well, you have a successful podcast, you're gonna look out for the little guy. Like, okay, hey, I can help you with some tips and tricks. You know what I'm saying? You're not just gonna throw them under the bus. Like, yo, don't hit me up. I'm too big for you. And that's the mentality that a lot of people have when they get to that point where people know them. So,
Yeah.
don't be that person, man. Look out for the little guy. Um, help out when you can. I know we have a lot of followers, we have a lot of things, and like I said, I don't get to every message, but I do take days where I just go through and answer whatever I can. So, if I have to say anything, man, look out for the little guy. You can find my work, man, on my Instagram page. If you want to search me anywhere, Brandon Cole Photography, you can go to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm on Threads now, the new thing from Instagram, and my
Yeah.
YouTube channel, Brandon Cole Photography. But yeah, man, I'm here to educate you, man, and anybody who's interested in photography, anything, anywhere, starting a business, running with photography as a business, working with models. I'm a 100% open book with when it comes to photography. I'm also, nobody knows this. It's probably gonna be the first time I say this, but nobody else in the world knows this. But probably in the next few months, I'm coming out with my own. I have a book. I've been working on a book for
Hell
3
yeah.
years. So
Yeah,
my
man.
book is called Portrait Photography and the Use of Flash. And I've
Nice.
been writing this book for a while, man. So I'll be coming out with a book soon too.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Add that into the product list.
yeah, it's something else I've been working on, man. When you get there, man, just keep chopping away on
Yeah.
everything. There's plenty of money out here for everybody, man. But
Yeah.
like you said earlier, stay consistent.
Hmm.
Um, and work ethic. When you start slacking off, you're not going to see any return if you're not consistent. If you're going to get in this game, whether you do podcasts, whether you do photography, whether you do makeup,
Hmm.
or whatever, you have to be consistent. You have to be. If you're not consistent in what you do, if you're not willing to grind, day
Mm.
in and day out about something that you want, don't even start. Telling you,
Mm.
you can't.
Yeah.
Don't try to run no business. Don't try to do anything. You gotta grind, and that's what it's about
Mm.
with me. I grind. I'm trying to come out with anything, and I'm trying to build an empire. And I'm gonna work. I'm doing. If I can be in the military for 18 years, active duty, and doing all of this, I'm sure you guys can do it all too. So, big
Yeah.
shout out to you, man. Big shout out to your followers. Everybody listening, thank you for rocking with us today. And just remember, just keep the grind up, keep the hustle up, man, and everybody will
Mm.
make it, man. I hope to see all of you at the top. Everybody, we all gonna be there. So it's about.
Hell yeah. That's probably got to be one of the best closing wrap ups we've ever done.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it, man.
But Brandon, really appreciate it. Awesome stuff, great insights, unbelievable entrepreneur. So congrats on that.
Yes, sir.
And anybody listening, 100% go and check out his YouTube, like just to get some ideas on how to be different, how to create unique content, how to put a different spin on an industry that's got 1 billion and 2 photography videos. So if you do anything, just go check out that, even just for the learning purpose. But thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it, and we'll chat again soon.
Yes, sir. Anytime, man. You have a good day.
Hey guys, we put a bunch of effort into making great content for this YouTube channel, so please hit subscribe, leave us a comment, hit like, and tell a few friends about it.